That seems to be.
Hey, I want to call the meeting to order. All of the aldermen, Blake Nobles, our president boardroom. Blake Nobles is joining us via phone. Mike Blake, you there?
Hey Blake, glad to have you, buddy.
All right. Steve,
Hope you're feeling better.
Steve said he's doing good, so just in case you were worried about that, he's doing good. I would like to ask Greg Bullock to lead us in the prayer and pledge of allegiance.
Let us pray. Father, we thank you for today. Thank you for the privilege to be here tonight in this great city. I pray that as we meet tonight, God, that we do so, God, in accordance to your will. We ask for your guidance and your wisdom as we make decisions. God, thank you for the citizens who are here. We ask your blessing on them as they leave and while they're here. God, just thank you for all your blessings. Forgive us where we fail you. And just thank you for all that you do. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Righty. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Wow, that is a consent agenda.
I'm telling you.
Is there a motion to accept the consent agenda?
Motion again.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All righty, we got public comment. Who all's here from Hillcrest Loop? If we can, do y'all mind? This is gonna be a fairly quick meeting. I shouldn't have said that.
I know.
This should be. Anyway, if y'all could, I'd like to spend a little bit more time talking with you. If you guys could wait to the end of the meeting, we'll have, I got a feeling we're gonna have a little bit longer dialogue with you guys, trying to resolve that. With that being said, Keely, hop on up there.
Good evening. We just wanted to come give you all an update of what's going on with the garden. So far, we've had gotten a lot of donations privately and from corporations like Mississippi Power, Southern Pine, Economist Supply. They donated wood for us to build our raised beds over at the city site, with at least 3 of them. We also have been harvesting a great many of cucumbers at the site by Adams. Had a few tomatoes, some corn, and some okra, and most of that has been donated to the Federal Children's Task Force over the course of these past 4 or 5 weeks. We have our first event coming up on July 23rd. It's a kids gardening camp for ages 2 to 12. And that will be at Grand Central, and I brought a flyer for you all if y'all just want to take a look at it. So they're partnering with us to do that, and I am going to do a quick 15-minute interview with Super Talk Laurel 99.3 on July the 20th, just to get more information about that. We also have a coffee fundraiser going on right now, and that's to raise money for a water tap at the site by Adams, because my arms are getting tired. I'm tired of toting water out there, but I continue to do what I can until we can do better.
How are you getting water out there? Can you be clear about that?
I am actually jugs. Yeah, I'm throwing jugs of water out there. Look, thank God for the
Gerald probably don't do have nothing to do. He's off from school. He probably could just period and judge.
I really appreciate for the rain this last week, because it's helped. So,
I'm gonna put my mind on that. There's gotta be a better solution. Yeah, the tap sounds like a great idea.
thank you. So, we also just wanted to come tonight to ask you all about the city site once over there, once we get it up and running, get the raised beds filled and all that, how can we have access to water? I know we can't get free water, but how can we access water and electricity? Because in the fall, we do plan to have at least 2 more events. We want to plant pumpkins. The rain has not it's been in my favor, but it hadn't been in my favor as far as planting, because we want to do like a little pumpkin patch mini
Robert,
carnival.
what
in
we do
October.
legally to let you know.
I was thinking about that, and I wish I'd known about your problem, and I'd have been thinking about it before I came here. So we can't, you're right, we can't give you free water. Now, one thing that we've done, in a different situation where people were putting stuff on our towers, and then they wanted to use our electricity, so kind of a similar analogous situation. We just charged them $50 a month, for electricity.
Okay.
Now, the water people here may have a better idea as to what we may be going through, but that would be a potential solution. I know you're a nonprofit, so, the $50 wouldn't eat into you too bad. So that'd be something along those lines, that if we didn't put a tap out there that we could meter, then I would suggest, if she were to use the water facilities that are already out there, then,
I don't think there are any, 'cause she's on a vacant lot that used to have a house on it.
over
I
there.
don't think she's close enough to,
Can
I know
water,
can the
Josh
fire
said where it
department
is,
help
it's
with
close
water?
to the stop sign out there, so it's something out there to where
Other
we can
question.
Right.
get water, but it's towards
Would
the
that be
stop
an
sign.
option if the fire department maybe could donate, help them with water some?
My question.
Well, I mean,
Where's the
Fire
closest,
truck.
at the end of the, hey, you're talking about at the fourplex, across from the Y. At the end of the new parking lot, lower by Logan, where's the closest water line? Is it on Logan? Yes.
Yeah,
Well, you
you-
play factory on that.
Which one stayed out there, right?
It's gonna be on the west side.
On the other side of Logan, because I mean, there used to be houses there.
It's gotta be a line there.
Just wonder if it's alive right now.
what are sewer, so we would have to do a tap? Like install like a meter? Like a faucet for them?
While they're thinking
Then we
about
can
water,
go.
Or have a spigot somewhere close
if
by.
somebody wants to donate this, I mean, you're not even allowed to
Hoses or something.
donate, how do they need to go about doing that?
So we do have a PayPal account set up, and it's actually connected to our website, www.petalhealinggarden.org. So you can go to the website.
If I give you my number, can you send me your link, PayPal link?
Sure.
You have their stuff?
on this side of it.
You're right at the end of the, new paved parking lot, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. I thought they were on the other
Man,
side.
theory, you could run a water line over there.
Yeah, there's a line that runs down Logan, Mike.
Yes, I think it's on the west side. Looking at,
Yeah, it's on the opposite side from the ball fields.
yeah, west side.
And I apologize,
That actually goes
y'all.
down to gets that house at the very
I
end.
was trying to get up here, so, cause I know we only had 3 minutes, but this is just, Jessica Membrea, she's our treasurer.
Hey, Jeff.
Nice to meet y'all. I apologize.
You charge more money now. But if you send me that link, I'll work on it too.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah, we got something to work on. Mike, you'd look into that for us.
Yeah, and I would suggest that as a city, we can either provide you with a tap and treat you like a normal customer, or if you're gonna use less than a normal amount of water, whatever that is, and we're gonna use our tap, then this board should probably ascertain a flat fee for you to pay every month if we can't meter you. So, I think either one is a viable solution, just so long as we don't give it away.
Yes, of course. Well,
Technically, we're gonna have to get water on that side anyway at some point, soccer fields, et cetera.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
this isn't like,
Well, that road ain't the best to shape anyway, so. it's no big deal.
So we might need to look at this next meeting or two after Mike have a chance.
Y'all just need
Scope
to
it all out.
do all that, pumpkins and all.
yes, sir.
oh, good deal.
Thank y'all, appreciate
Thank you,
it.
that's all we have, thank y'all.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys.
Andy. Hey, is Andy Wittenberg here? Cindy, I'm sorry. Okay.
He can't read.
I don't have my glasses, I got my car
That's
off
okay.
glasses anyway. Sorry. Cindy, how are you doing?
Pretty
Good to
glad
see
you
you.
were seen.
Yeah, this is also number one on the agenda. I guess we could make a,
Number
motion,
two, yeah.
No, you
in a
don't.
second, and then have this as part of our discussion.
WITTENBERG.
Is there a, motion, to hold a fundraiser event, vendors at Hinton Park? We're just looking for a first and second, so she can speak.
So moved.
Second.
Oh, go ahead.
My name is Cindy. I am a board member and a retreat coordinator for Soldiers Freedom Outdoors. We were founded in 2011. Our home base is Melrose, Florida, but we have recently extended to Mississippi. My husband and I will be running this extension here. We are a military veteran organization, nonprofit, 501c3, and we focus on the hidden wounds that you can't see. A lot of times military come home and, you know, you can see their physical injuries, but you can't see the mental ones, or, you know, other things going on. So that's what we work on. We are, because we are a nonprofit, we are run by our sponsors and the donations that come in. So we are requesting that we can utilize the parks and things within the city to be able to hold some fundraisers.
Did y'all just have a softball tournament Sunrise?
No, we are scheduled.
Oh, that's what I'm saying, we all
Yes,
scheduled.
sir.
Okay.
Any questions, guys? Hey, I didn't see, when did you say you wanted to have this?
So the event will be August 6th, the first one
What you're kind of looking
for
at?
the city. And that would be at Hinton Park.
Cindy, are you aware of our senior citizen and veteran center that we have? Have you been inside the facility?
Yes, sir, I have.
Is that something that would facilitate your operations here in Mississippi? Is there a kind of a central site for training or opportunities for meetings?
Yes, that would be wonderful. I actually spoke to Ms. Valerie at the Chamber of Commerce, and we had talked about the office that is available there. And I didn't know if I needed to speak about that here, but it would be wonderful to utilize that office space, because we're hoping and we're planning to eventually hold like small gatherings for veterans, like during the month. But right now we're really just getting started, so we're trying to raise some money.
It's actually closed for a little while, you know, it flooded last week, so it's closed for a little bit, if you get ready.
Hopefully clean that up. Yeah, because that facility is, I think it has great opportunity, you know.
We need to utilize that too.
Yeah, that building, like I said, we don't utilize it as much as we should.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be
I
awesome.
think it'd be good.
We're looking for the right leader to come in and help.
We got that
side,
veterans still on there, so it'd be good.
on that side, so.
That would be great. And we're a military family as well. My husband was medically retired in 2013, so this is home for us.
So this is mental health care for,
It's not healthcare. It's, we focus on the hidden wounds. What our facility does in Florida, we are set up to host retreats throughout the month. We usually do 1 to 2. And we also hold different events that bring families and things together. And our weekend retreats are for the veteran only. But it's just a way for them to get out into nature and to kind of clear their minds, and, you know, because it's not just PTSD, you know, it's anxiety and depression, and there's a lot of things that go along with it. So we really focus on healing, but we're not counselors, we're not doctors, we're not there to get them to talk about what they've gone through. We're just kind of trying to get them with other veterans to be able to just kind of relax.
Cindy, can you just talk briefly how you chose to end up here in Petal?
So my husband and I, well, he was stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. We were there, 9 years. And the military transferred him to Camp Shelby in 2009. So we've been here ever since.
it's needed. I watched my father suffer from 67, 68 when he came back from Vietnam. He wasn't talk. He never said a word. And he died at 67 from complications of all kinds of things. There was stuff that was dumped on him as a medic. He never said a word.
And those eras, you know, they didn't have help back then. and I know, I got goosebumps. And the good thing about our organization is we are open to active and retired, all eras. And we, men, women, it doesn't matter, as long as you're either active or you've been honorably discharged, you're welcome.
It's neat.
Awesome, good deal, thank you. We've got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
There you go.
Thank you so
Good deal,
much.
thank you. Unless you say no, Blake, we're gonna assume you're a yes.
Yeah, that's fine. I just got a little caught up with some water and the mute button.
All righty, number 3, request to set a variance.
You're on public comment.
Yeah, you,
Oh, okay, I'll say, what we
You're
got,
on public comment.
we do, we're saving them for later at the end. You already have that in?
Anybody else?
Okay. No, we're good, we're gonna handle that at the, back end. We have, no proclamations, resolutions, bids and quotes are all business. That was number 2 on general business. Number 3, request to set a variance hearing date of July 26, 2022, for property located at 1101 Sunrise Road.
Motion.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Request request to accept the resignation of Andrew Arizati in the police department effective July 8, 2022. Is there a motion?
motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Hate to lose him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got a motion, got a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Number 5, a request to accept the agreement with Jeff Martin Auctions for auction services. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Number 6, request to accept the resignation of Malachi Hickey in the Recreation Department effective June 17. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 7, a request to adjust services billed to 53 Corinth Road as follows due to a leak. Water 264, sewer 126, sales tax 1848, and late fees of $70.15. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Listen, you don't sign
All in favor?
I do have a
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Joe.
This is a little different format than we're used to seeing. Okay, thank you. No, aye.
Number 8, request to adjust services billed to 804 South Main Street as follows due to a leak.
That's the same.
Water 1803.50, sewer 529.50, tax 126.24. Is there a motion?
And that's the same situation as commercial, and you got a big office.
That was a good one, huh, Miss Ada?
Yeah, y'all paying this?
We're gonna get Steve to pay this.
Get him to say
We got a motion with Steve, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Steve.
Oh, these signs?
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 9, request to approve the adopted claims for the month of June 2022.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 10, request to accept the engineering agreement with Shaw's, Dearman and Waits for splash pad and soccer fields.
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Discussion.
Okay, discussion.
As part of one of the services, I'd like to get some guidance. And I talked to John previously, but, we have like a gold, silver, and bronze standard for facilities, because there's, we can go and call it crazy, but we don't need to.
No.
But, based on cost, if we give us kind of 3 different, based on the actual inside stuff. The outside, it's always standard on the outside, it's going to be really the stuff in the inside.
Good,
So if you kind of give us so we kind
Come in the splash pad.
yeah, I think we had an original estimate.
I think I'm in the wrong line of work after finding out what some of this stuff costs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if you just do that when he comes back and you say, hey.
Yeah.
Here's.
Yeah, all of this stuff is all contingent on, the possibility of me coming back to you guys and saying, whoa, guys,
Well,
what we're looking at.
I know I've said this before, but I would just like to interject. It seems like the right time to do it. If it doesn't have the bucket that tips and splashes.
It
It
does.
does, yeah.
We sat down with him and told him the things that we want to make sure it has.
Love you for it.
It's a question when the water comes down.
It's supposed to.
I had nothing to do with the splash pad. I just wanted to go on record as saying that. I'll get the ribbon cutting, but,
Yeah.
You would be.
They wouldn't let us.
I would be under the bucket, but, anyway, hopefully we can get, you know.
We did ribbon cutting with the water coming down.
Prices aren't too wild, but anyway. Got a motion, got a second, all in favor? Right, seminars and travel, number 11, request to authorize Amy Heath to attend Mississippi Association of Code Enforcement Conference in D'Iberville on August 9th through the 12th. Little loss of 696. Got a motion, is there a second? Second.
She ought to be well trained.
All in favor? She's actually got, I mean, she's kind of moving up in stature in that organization, so,
And
she
based
ends
on
up
the
getting
letter
that
that
more
she
stuff.
just sent out,
Yeah.
of all the license sheet.
Oh, yeah, that's getting rougher too.
That'd be taught in this class.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know.
Mayor, may I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is this an opportunity that we should be sending the assistant Shannon?
Oh, Shannon, yeah.
I mean, is this not the right time of year?
I don't think so. I'll double check with her since it's at this
If it
later
is, I
date.
would like
If
to
it is,
her
we
office.
could- yeah.
We gotta start training them.
We do have some absences a little bit over there with Carrie having knee surgery. Now, I told everybody in town, but he doesn't have a problem with it, but anyway, and everything else. We've got some vacations and obviously all the other stuff, but anyway, got a motion, got a second, all in favor? Orders and ordinances, number 12, I can spit that out. Request to adopt ordinance regulating alderman attendance at board meetings and providing penalties for excessive absences. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
This is something I put forward, and quite frankly, if you look at the Mississippi Constitution, there's no recalling elected officials. So that means that I could win an election and never sit in this chair, and never come to this meeting, and that is completely okay and it's completely legal. And when you compare that to other states' charters and constitutions, and even some other municipalities in the state, that makes me very uneasy. Waiting 4 years for a chance to be represented, to have a voice. And so that's one of the reasons, one of the primary reasons why I presented this to the board for consideration. And I think that it would really show that we want accountability for ourselves. I don't plan on being in this chair terribly long time. And I want to make sure that whoever takes this chair sits in it.
And I think I've already talked to you about this, girl, you know, of course, I think that, like me, I take this job serious, and, I represent Ward 2, and I think that if I don't show up to meetings, they will know that, and they will vote me out of office. I think that's accountability, you know. But if, you know, I just don't think that we need, you know, by law, because those things that come up that we may miss. Now, fortunately, I've been to where I hadn't had much to come up that, but I just think that the people, we're accountable to them. And I think that they're the ones that put us out of office. I don't think it's something we need to have an ordinance on. I've said this once before, I think it's looking for a solution to a problem we don't really have. So that's just my thoughts on it.
Any other discussion?
I would like to point out that Alderman Nobles is not in his seat today. However, state law states that he is in attendance at this meeting, and that would not count as an absence. This ordinance also says that you would have to miss 7 of the 24 meetings in a year before penalties are applied.
And we actually just started the following one a couple of years ago.
Actually, that's actually a good story, how that came about, is we checked with the AG's office back when James Reynolds was going to be deployed to see if he could call in, and you know, obviously, I don't think there's, and I think some people are confused that there is, I've been questioned several times, who's missing, And I do want to say, because I got a lot of respect for James, he called in,
It'd be 2 o'clock in the morning there.
2, 3 o'clock in the morning from a war zone,
That counts
to
as
the
a
meetings.
He's here.
And it did, and that's the dedication that the aldermen do bring to this position. And other times that I've been out, I would look over the agenda and make sure that my input was put in. I think that's valuable as well. And I do believe, it's very important to come to budget meetings, for instance, and I know that's not really included in here, and actually, I was almost gonna miss today, because I don't think I'm included in this ordinance as well, but.
No, so the mayor is not included, and special meetings and emergency meetings are not included. It only addresses the 24 regular scheduled meetings.
I will see you on September. Can't let you come, Harold, and me not be here.
That's
I
true.
would say that, this board has had great attendance. We are in our seats, we're here, and that's the standard we want when we're not in these seats. We want somebody that's still gonna show up and hear our complaints, and gripes and everything. That's very important, and to actually represent, and that's our job, is to represent the people.
I'll include this if I can.
Great, Blake.
Just making sure I bypass that delay. Sorry, Daryl.
You cut Gerald off, but go ahead.
I'll agree with Steve a little bit on this, and the fact that this doesn't seem to be a big problem right now. It seems like for the most part, our board is rather, zealous about being at meetings. Most of us are there, all the time. I think an addendum to that is the sheer fact that because we are there, this isn't going to affect us that much. I'm personally fine with the ordinance. I do think that there's possibly some more that could be included to make it a bit more airtight and a bit more applicable to the needs. I understand Gerald's concern. Our job is that boardroom, and it is our vote on that meeting. But for one, fine with this going out this way. I completely see the point, and I believe some of the other aldermen's points that for the most part we are attending pretty religiously and represent our people well, hopefully. But I guess that I understand Alderman Steele's fear, but yeah, I'm kind of split on this 50-50. So just give that insight, I guess.
I've got Rocky researching 50-50 votes if we can.
Yeah, man.
Here's an issue I have with, not to repeat what's been said, because I am in agreement with, we don't have a problem on this board ever since I've been on it. There hasn't been a problem. And I think this ordinance is identical almost to one in Illinois, a city in Illinois, but we are an elected board. We are elected by the people. And this ordinance says I can miss 5 days. It won't be a problem. Or 7 days. It gives me permission to miss. You know, it's kind of like, I used to be in school business. And a teacher would have X number of excused absences. And you would hear conversation all the time toward the end of the year. Have you taken all yours yet? Have you taken yours yet? No, I got 3 more days to take. You know, I'm not sick. You know, I don't have anywhere to go, but heck, I ain't gonna let these days just go by, you know? So part of me says, maybe there's use for it, but a bigger part of me says, we've got responsibility here, sitting in these chairs, responsibility to the people who elected us. And the people who elected us can call up here any day of the week that the office is open and ask about my attendance if they're concerned about it. Also, my job isn't sitting here 24 nights a year only. It is partly that. I'm part-time with a part-time salary. But outside of these walls, I have a responsibility as well to do this job. Every day of the week, every day of the year, weekend or not, meeting day or not. So attendance to me is one of the minor things that it's not an issue. It's one of the minor things that we need to be discussing here. And I think if I have an attendance problem, I'm gonna hear about it pretty quickly. And I would hope that the mayor would be the first one to come talk to me about it. The way we're set up though, as a board, you know, the mayor's not our boss per se. As far as employment goes, because our boss are the people who elected us. And so, yes, I have a problem with this for the reasons that I've said. Not simply because I think it's going to cause some of us, we got an attendance ordinance now. Well, we got to make sure we're there. We already make sure we're here.
And Mike, what does the legislature say? You were in the legislature too. Do they have one?
No.
I would like to respond to that. So you mentioned teachers, that's earned time off. That's actually money that is owed to those teachers, and it's a little bit different. And the state constitution right now doesn't say we can take 7 days, it says we can take 24.
My thought, quickly, I'm just right off the cuff, I'm typically, much more in favor of less government, not more. You know, there's just things that pop into mind. I've been on board for, this will be year 11 for me. To my knowledge, if I'm wrong, that's perfectly fine, but to my knowledge, in 11 years, we've never had an instance where city business was not allowed to be conducted because of lack of attendance in 11 years.
And that does seem to be accurate, from what I can tell.
And I don't know that that's ever been the case since
However, if I could
1974.
interject, there have been many meetings in a year's time where there are only the minimum quorum.
Which is allowed by state law.
It
We
is.
could have 4 people
But
at
that
every
is
meeting.
not how we should be representing our constituents.
Nobody disagrees with that.
I don't know that we've ever had I don't know if we've had many meetings that had 4 of us here.
Very few, really only special meetings.
Yeah.
No. I've been here, excuse me, I've been here at all the meetings, and it's been more than 4 here. But y'all are asking my opinion about this. I mean,
We would love your opinion.
We'd like to hear you.
Since you're the ones that we're accountable to, we're not accountable to each
my
other.
opinion about this, as long as y'all do y'all job where you're here or not, as long as you do what you're supposed to do, that's fine with me. And I'm quite sure it's fine with everybody else that you off your horn. If we call you wherever you is, if we call you on your phone and you answer your phone and we tell you our problem, that's fine. You can discuss with the rest of it.
Hey, I'm accountable.
That's fine with me.
I'm accountable for her.
Because I call Steve and tell him what kind of problem I got.
Miss Amy,
And tell him.
Miss Amy, what'd you do for the 4?
Nothing. I'm just saying, you know, ain't gonna be, cause you got a family, everybody has got a family. And you don't know what might happen in your family that you can't attend this meeting. And I wouldn't leave my family, but my family got a crisis, I'm gonna be there with my
You
family.
know, and
The
here's
only
where.
thing I did get taken care of from Miss Ada, she got stung this week.
All right.
Wait a minute, that's control?
And I know you would think, huh?
Yeah,
So
let's just go, cause I
have,
called him.
in 11 years, again, not to beat a dead horse, but, you know, I've missed a meeting, because I've had a stent put in my heart. I've missed a meeting for, an emergency appendectomy. I've missed, some meetings because it was my son's senior year of soccer, and they play most of their games on Tuesday nights. Those things I don't apologize for. And I'm not interested in a situation where any of us, where we're faced with something like that, where we need to feel bad or guilty. Because, you know, right now, I was scheduled to be in an MRI machine right now fortunately, things worked out and some things were changed, and I was able to move that up till earlier this afternoon to enable me to be here. I'm not interested in more government. You know, as far as conducting business, 98% of the business that I've been involved in with the city has been outside of this board meeting. I think Ms. Jordan might could tell you, she's got my number on speed dial like Miss Ada has Steve's on speed dial. Do you ever call me during a meeting, Miss Jordan?
No.
No, you call me during the week,
I
right?
call you during the week,
Yeah.
and you respond real well.
Yeah.
You know, it's, I've been in 21 years, and I've been in 21 years, I may have missed 8 meetings.
So gentlemen, please, I'm not pointing a finger at anybody on this board. This is a good time to do this because there's nobody to point a finger at. This is the time to do it before there is an issue.
Well, I can attest to one thing about it. The gentleman sitting here, right there, and right there, I know I'm going to church with him. That's not the quote that I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is every one of these guys have been there when I needed them, especially Tony, Drew, y'all, a lot of people have been there. That's why we elected y'all to do what we need y'all to do.
I'm glad you brought that up, Harold. You've been absent a little bit.
I know, I'm sorry.
They got
I
you
am
good.
sorry.
Yeah, I hate to bring that up. but
They got
thought
you
it
good.
I am
real-
sorry.
real Nicely, over there to that, but, anyway, any more discussion?
You pick the guy that you want for the office. I personally drove off the vacation, left my family in Desert, came home and took the vote and drove all the way back. Elections happen.
That was for a little bitty thing, wasn't it?
And it wasn't,
Wasn't even, was it even a regular meeting?
doesn't matter with me.
Yeah.
Or vote for the person you think will be there. If they're not, the next time they're back around, vote them out.
Already got a motion, got a second,
I would like to make a
okay.
observation.
Yeah.
You know, I differ in some of your approaches from some of the words, and I'm a newer alderman, but I think I hold duty pretty close to my heart, based on my service record and based on my service to the country. And I see this as a duty. And yes, every 4 years, you get recalled for this duty. But I will say, I think this first year of this board, collectively, not to say anything about the other board, but we've got more resources, but we've done more this last year for the city. I think we've made tremendous gains. And that's because we've all showed up and worked together and made votes together. I will say the only duty based on legislative requirements, you know, we can work 24/7, every 23 hours outside this office. We can satisfy every call, that comes in, make everyone happy, pick up this, do that, coordinate that. The only authority we have is when we vote. Coordination, and the mayor's been very gracious, allowed us to talk to, to Mike Truss, to Josh, to Matthew, to Fire, allow us to coordinate at times, not tasking, but just like, hey, these are some concerns. He's, that's very gracious, and that's not within our purview. I mean, he does not have to let us do that. But our only authority, our only responsibility, our duty is sitting in these chairs and voting. And that's unequivocally the statement. Now, yes, there is accountability every 4 years. But I would say, look what we've done this 1 year, Foul speeding here and doing this. And I think we're gonna do this for the next 3 years and 7 years until we move forward. Like I said, I don't think it's a problem with us, with the group that's here. But I do think it's almost sacrilegious, the thought that, hey, if you're not here, it doesn't count. Well, this is where it counts. Because if I don't vote, Ward 5 does not get a vote. You can say, well, the Alderman at large covers it. Well, he doesn't necessarily represent Ward 5 purely. I'm the one that represents those voters in this meeting. And so, like I said, I like accountability. I agree with lesser government, but in this case, we're making ourselves accountable to the citizens.
We already are.
We are every 4 years. And that's one, I think that's a mistake. The city,
Actually, by this, we're making ourselves accountable to each other by ordinance.
Exactly. That's
That's accountability, because I'm elected to office, I'm accountable every single day of my term to the people who I represent. And in this case, I represent everybody.
And what I'm doing if I were to vote for this, I'm saying that I'm holding you responsible to your constituents, and that's not my job.
We could change
No,
it.
nobody's disagreeing, I don't think, with any statement that you have said about duty, voting, accountability, anything. And just because someone might disagree with this doesn't make us sacrilegious, to use your words. It doesn't make us any less desired to be accountable.
I'm not disagreeing with your statement. I mean, that's your position and you're voting right. So I just come from my position, my background, my service. Like I said, I think I'm very much like Blake. I think it's important. Like I said, is it a problem with us? No.
Not a
Could
problem.
it be a problem in the future? Potentially.
So is attendance important, or finding someone if they don't show up a certain number of dates that a board member decides? Is that important?
What's important is making sure we're here to vote.
Okay.
I mean, because if you don't vote, I mean, that's the key. That's our role and responsibility. I mean,
And I think that's what I'm saying, I know I have.
And Steve, you're the example. If I could ensure that everyone that sat on this board had your attendance record, I would be thrilled.
Is that your job to ensure that for every citizen
Depends on
of
how you
Ward
vote
6?
second.
No, is it your job to make sure that Ward 6 is represented right here?
Well,
Are you elected by the citizens of which ward? Okay.
Hey, I will say this, because some of y'all, and I usually say it before the meeting starts, y'all are on YouTube tonight, by the way. And y'all have done very well, by the way. And I don't know of another governing body, school board, county officials, or anything that actually does. And we've done that for quite some time. We went from Facebook to, and I always consider if we ever wanted to go back, but we're on YouTube, so it's there for posterity on our stuff. So we do have some conversations like this that you wouldn't really be able to hear, well, y'all would because y'all are here, but be able to hear it via YouTube. And I always think that's kind of a neat thing. Some people can't make the meetings, obviously with COVID, flu, whatever else going around makes it tough as well. It also allows a resident to watch it later in the week. I hear people tell me that they watch it later in the week. And if you were out of town on vacation, you could watch it as well. So I think that's a good thing too, but I should have warned y'all beforehand, but y'all done great. So anyway, we've got a motion, got a second, all in favor?
Aye.
We didn't know, we were just checking,
It'll get to you in a year or two.
all opposed, to the text or something, all opposed?
No.
Alrighty, in the mayor's report, pretty simple. We just got back from MML, had some great meetings down there. Had Alderman Bullock and Alderman Stringer graduate. Can you believe that, Ms. Ada? You gonna get Steve a graduation gift? But we have 3 different levels of municipal, certified municipal officials that you can do. CMO classes. Steve is tapped out.
Craig just an advanced, I'm professional.
Yes, he's a professional. He's only advanced. I know these other guys are taking a lot of classes too. They are very informative. We do not take that collectively. The money that the taxpayer spends to send us to those, we do not take that for granted. So we do try to get in there and try to learn some stuff. And we've learned some great stuff. We are always willing, if the budget gets tight, that's something that would probably get thrown overboard, but whenever we can do it and get our people trained, and Amy's been able to take some classes, and we've been able to look at some other things, those are good and get best practices from other entities, and it puts us on pretty good footing. Prayers appreciated. We're getting ready to go into budget season, so those are always appreciated. If Valerie, how'd we do? I thought it went good. First annual celebration.
It was awesome, and I have to thank our police, our fire, our Parks and Rec.
Amen.
They were fabulous.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
Great job.
Next year, maybe to get Alderman Stringer Stringer to sing. I didn't warn everybody when I spoke.
Hey, Valerie,
On our watch.
Hey, Valerie, when we left, we had stopped and got my wife something to eat. When we were coming back, it looked like they had started shooting them again.
Yeah, they did. We were still.
I think there was a round that maybe didn't get,
That's all we.
Shot off the first time. I think they saved it for volunteers.
Special, pay a little bit more money, we'll have a little second show, a little smaller deal afterwards. But, anyway,
Encores.
if there's nothing else, I would like to see a need, for an executive session. Is there a motion? Oh, Miss Ada, what's up?
You got these ladies?
Wait, I don't know, we're gonna get them.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, we hadn't forgot about y'all. This is all
Yeah.
part of that, so, yeah.
Make a motion for executive session. We got executive session.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All righty, if everybody would step out, all the Hillcrest folks, just go out there and stick around and we'll get y'all guys back in here. Promise it won't be long.
That's much like my ball.
Yeah. Yeah, just wanna take this up.
See y'all.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow night, church.
Molly, you're saying for Kimberly? Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah. We're gonna be just a few minutes.
Thank
That's all we're not doing. Helpers,
Well, I'm on how.
If you don't catch him, I'll tell them.
We need to look into that.